Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 2 of Rutherford Falls. And this is the Michael Schur created new show who, just keeps making some of the greatest sitcoms ever. And this is fast-tracking itself to becoming one of those great sitcoms as well. And I absolutely love this show. I feel like Season 2 has really found its stride in terms of tone, messaging, and characters, and really starting to find a balance where Ed Helms is one of the creators of the show, and his Nathan Rutherford was definitely at the forefront as the main character in the show in Season 1, and I feel like there's more balance here in Season 2, and Nathan goes on a great journey here, really finding himself and becoming a much more likable, earnest, and good human being who, even by the end of this season, might be making some not the greatest decisions. And by the end, I feel like it leaves him in a place where it's going to have a lot of drama because he winds up getting Deirdre Chisenhall, who's the former mayor of Rutherford Falls, pregnant. And Dana L. Wilson gets a lot more to do in this season, and I love the dynamic between the two of them. And they have a lot of great chemistry, Helms and Wilson, and they're one of the, will they, won't they kind of relationships, and it really works for the show. You have Jana Schmieding, who plays Reagan, who's kind of stuck in between this bit of a love triangle with Dustin Milligan's Josh, who's like this really handsome and smart journalist, and her new love interest in this season, who is a great addition to the show, and he's just such an earnest and enjoyable and good human being, Nelson, played by Dallas Goldtooth, and that dynamic really works, and you see Reagan really coming towards being a real co-lead here in the show and trying to figure out what she really wants to do, trying to get land, and how she could better her people's livelihood and lives and experiences. And some of the things that she goes through in one particular trying to get land is some great humor in regards to bureaucracy and red tape, and it's great commentary. But I feel like one of the biggest standout of the show is Michael Greyeyes, who plays Terry, who's an intense and driven leader who will try everything that he can to find new ways to progress his people. And he gets such a great moment with this spoof show Adirondack, which 100% is not taking shots at any really popular show about white settlers in a western area who deal with a lot of Native American and indigenous people, so definitely not focusing on a real show. And there's a great episode there with him kind of finding ways to really put that show in its place for how it portrays indigenous people. And you see Terry trying to team up with Nathan this time around, trying to put the right person in the mayor's seat. And the mayoral campaign is one of the biggest aspects of the season. And you get Bobby Yang and Jesse Leigh. Bobby is such a great character. They are so much fun. They're sassy. They are a lot more clever and resourceful than I think they get a lot of credit for. And they just bring a lot of laughs here, and they grow to some really interesting places. And they have to go toe-to-toe with Tanis herself, who plays Feather Day, Kaniehtiio Horn, who is one of my favorite performers in Letterkenny as Tanis. And she makes a jump to this show, and she's sharp and biting and, just full of herself, to be honest. And the egos between Bobby and Feather is just a great battle of being obnoxious. And, of course, Nathan still gets his moments of putting foot in his mouth where, he gets on the wrong side of the fire department, and there's a whole entire sequence with that in one of the later episodes in the season. But this really found its humor it really knows how to wear its themes on its sleeve, but not beat you over the head with it, but tackle those kinds of ideas and really universal themes along with like the romance and stuff like that in a fun but mature way. And I think this show is really finding its stride, like I said, and I really look forward to season 3 and where these characters go, because this show has created such a great ensemble. And I feel like that's when these shows really soar, is when the whole ensemble is clicking and everybody's clicking here. There's so many great standouts in this show. And having somebody like Ed Helms, who has all this experience in these kinds of shows, I think he really anchors things here. And Nathan gets a lot of humble pie this season and becomes a lot more of an engaging and interesting character that we could relate with. And I just think everybody is firing on all cylinders, making for such a wonderful and pleasant time watching Rutherford Falls, and also some great representation and new perspectives and new stories that I think makes it more interesting, and it doesn't feel like just another stereotypical sitcom. But those are my thoughts on Rutherford Falls. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies and TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.